podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Voice Radio. Join us every Thursday and Sunday, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Thaboxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Unguarded with TBV. The Boxing Voice has created the Border Wars series where, people that just watch boxing normally, they have a lot to say, get up off the couch. Even those that don't have a lot to say, they just want to test themselves. They feel like maybe they missed that part of their life where they could have joined some competition in the past. Well, we bring that back around with this Border Wars series, and today we have our episode of Unguarded with Machine Gun Matt Garces. He's going to be taking on Robert the Genius out of Philadelphia in a 168-pound fight. Now, obviously, Matt is coming off of his first loss and looking for his first win. Matt in Texas, Plainsview, correct?
Yeah, Plainview, yeah.
What's going on, Mr. Garces? I always mess up the spelling. It looks like you're going to have to make a name to make sure that these people don't mess up the spelling. Don't forget who you are and put some respect on that name. But how's it going, brother? Talk to us.
It's going good, man. It's going good. Great day today. Good way to start off the new year. Very excited.
So I guess right off the bat, I have to say you might be winning the battle of the mental warfare with your opponent. He seems to be very keen on knowing what it is that you're doing or not doing in camp. He's not worried about what he's doing. He wants to know what Machine Gun is doing. Do you feel that's an advantage come in, or do you think that, it's just nervous energy on the Genius's part?
It's probably just nervous energy on his part, man. To me, it's whatever he's doing, that's fine. Whatever he posts, that's fine. This is all part of the chess pieces moving into place when we get ready for February, So to me, it's nothing but nervous energy on him.
So what made you agree to that fight so long ago versus the Genius without really checking out the landscape, not giving yourself the opportunity to see what could have been the best possible fight? Not to say that this isn't a great one, just you kind of took your piece off the chessboard early.
Well, I kind of did that this past Border Wars, seeming as that I was supposed to fight, but was unable to due to reasons, that we all know on the inside. And I kind of took the landscape for what was out there. Was watching Colin and Boxing Therapy. We were watching Lauren's fight with Southside Ducey. And we also did watch closely Rob's fight with Greg Morgan. So it was a matter of picking between those people that had already fought and then looking at people that were still available for the next one.
For sure, bro. And I'm going to tell you off the bat, I like that style of getting your fight secured so that you could just focus on training. I know one of the hardest parts of Border Wars is making sure that your fight is official, making sure that your opponent is going to show up. We always get pullouts. We always get card changes. So I guess securing your opponent is one of the safest things you can do to, I guess, ensure that you stay focused during training. Has that helped in terms of training, knowing that you really do have someone who's also training and really going to show up and you got to bring it?
Yeah, it's helped me push me more to a different level on this point than it did the last time. Having somebody that, calls into the show, back and forth, good, help promoting and helping you kind of motivate yourself with the banter back and forth. It's really great. And then seeing all the work that you and your opponent are putting in for each other, it's kind of, more fire for it to fuel myself to get it going.
Now, obviously, we've been asking for picks, and you're kind of going into this as the underdog, man. Are you surprised? Is it bothering you? And I guess, how are you dealing with that?
Surprised, I would say, yeah, because I was kind of the favorite in my last two picks, especially in the first one before the pullout, I became the favorite just off people's picks. But surprised, I would say a little bit, just because people have seen me fight, but they haven't seen me fight recently. It's been so long. I've lost so much weight, and Rob is being perceived as this big puncher and the guy that'll bite down and fight when he needs to. So that's what kind of makes it more interesting for me to push myself to show people that I do want to be perceived as the best. And I feel like beating Rob, getting one step closer and higher in the ranks of a 168-pound belt would help push that campaign for me.
Now, I believe it's something that you can see on the websites, the chat rooms. They're saying Matt is too small. He lost all that weight, and now he's too small for Rob. Rob is the bigger man. I mean, I even have people telling me that I shouldn't allow this fight to happen. Rob should be fighting someone like Ant or Cruz. What do you say to all that?
Watch and be amazed is what I say to that. Come February, I may seem smaller, I may seem, real frail and whatnot, but I'm not. The thing of it was, I started off beginning of last year almost 230 pounds. I was in a real kind of bad spot for myself personally. I kind of got into a little depression and got lazy. But then the Border Wars got presented to me by my brother. And I started listening to the show, and I started calling into the show, and I signed up for Border Wars right away. And it really it really boosted me to get back into the groove of things, get back into shape, get doing things again. And I've never been more motivated in this point in my life. And for that, I say thank you to you and everybody at the Boxing Voice for that.
Nah, for sure, man. Do you see any weaknesses in Robert the Genius? Because you did agree to the fight right away. Did you agree to it in principle just because you know the difficulties in scheduling the fight with a person that financially can travel anywhere that Border Wars is and is willing? Or did you schedule it because you've seen some flaws in Rob that you want to capitalize on come Border Wars 7?
It was a little bit of both, talking to Rob personally and then talking to him like on the side through the phones and whatnot, kind of it helped reassure me like, yeah, he's going to be there. He's kind of his own man in his life. So it's kind of like, the scheduling will be perfect. And then, like I said, we kind of took like the Canelo way of, we're going to watch who's out there. Then we're going to pick the best guy. We're going to take the best calculated risk out there to move forward.
So what do you see in him in terms of weakness or flaws that, you feel can be capitalized on?
I feel from his first fight alone, a lot of his punches are real wide and a lot of them, it's a lot of power behind everything, and not to say like, I'm there to take a shot, but it's not hard to take shots from anybody. I'm sparring the big boys all the time. I've been in here with bigger guys. Like the hardest puncher I've faced, in my opinion, is Marvin, and that's just in sparring, and that was just something light, so I could learn more. So, to me, it's just like I'll be the faster guy, and with what I'm working on in the gym right now, my technique is developing myself into the boxer I need to be today.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's the difference between your first Border Wars, even the second one that you signed up to. This is your third one signed up. You're gonna get your second fight in. What are some of the differences in training camp? Not specific training regimens, just what do you see as different being in there with a trainer and going into it the first time with your brother in the backyard?
Going through it the first time and going through it right now, you can see differences. Having a coach in general, keep your hands up, keep everything tucked in, move your head, keep this simple instructions that'll tell you where you're doing right, where you're doing wrong, and what steps you can take forward. Was as in when we were backyard boys, it was just, let's get in shape to fight. And if you can throw a lot of punches in any shape or form and they land, you can keep going. You'll have a chance. But this is more calculated. This is what I kind of understand what being in the lab is all about, is fine tuning and personally developing a style of a boxer instead of just, going in there to brawl.
And I mean, we heard from your brother, SuperMEX, that, he was kind of deterred from taking his fight. What did your coach tell you off of first seeing you? Was there any warnings for him, or did he say no? You look like you're ready for a fight?
When it came to me, I told him I was going to move forward with the fight anyway. He saw that I was in pretty good shape and I had a pretty natural form and awareness of what I was doing. It's just developing into a style of what best suits me is what it really came down to.
Yeah, man. So let's see here, man. What's your Border Wars goals? You know, Rob is just, I guess, a speed bump. What's your real plans?
My real plan is, I kind of told this to the guys in the Texas chat. I'm on my Triple G stuff right now. Give me my belt. I want my belt. So I came close to an opportunity to become a champion, and I want to be champion. I can see myself being champion in multiple weights at this point, if with the hard work and the dedication that I have.
Multiple weights. Give me more.
I can, like I said, from getting into shape, I can talk. If I really went at it, I could go into 154 and climb back up to 185.
So you still want to go up to 185 after being in the ring with Marvin? You just said he was the biggest puncher. You feel like, man, I took that. I could do that.
Yeah, and granted, it wasn't at 100% of what he was throwing, but I can tell like between fights like that, sparring with him, sparring with big guys, my fight with Danny, I can definitely feel I can work with what they give me.
Sorry about that. Let me
you're right.
Let me pull up this Patreon Unguarded post because we do have some questions from the people. I'm pretty sure Rob the Genius has signed up under different names to ask you some questions.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you feel, are you getting that Shannon Briggs vibe from him?
Slightly, yeah. If you're going to stalk my social media, you might as well add me, right? Come on now.
Oh, so he hasn't even requested you.
No, I don't see Rob the Genius on anything but a follow on YouTube. That was about it.
Wow. Okay, Rob. All right, here goes my phone. Wow. So, now, what's your trainer's name? And did you ask if he's going to be able to come, or you don't feel comfortable bringing him? What's the training thought process behind actual fight night?
I haven't asked him if he would be wanting to come or not, because he, like I said, he does have a pretty good stable of fighters, and I don't know their schedule. And I feel like with my brother working with me at the same time, we all know what message needs to get passed along through. So I feel like with him, we'd be good. Without him, we'd still be good because, we know what to preach to each other and what we've been working on. Because I've been in camp. This is my 3rd week of camp, so it's pretty good what we're working on.
For sure. So listen, man, the first question is coming from your nemesis, Robert the Genius. He says, in your opinion, not the opinion of the audience, do you yourself, as the underdog, the favorite, or is this fight even? He says, do you yourself, I guess he meant to say, do you see yourself as the underdog, the favorite, or the fight is even?
To me, I see myself as the favorite, of course. I'm never going to have any negative doubt in my mind that I'm going to lose or take anything less than winning. So it's, I see myself as the favorite. The people, I don't really pay too much attention to the people because they have their own input to it, So it's people have their picks, the criticism's there, and criticism is what you build off of. So I do see myself as the favorite in this one.
Sorry, bro. Now WhiteBoy John want to talk during the live show, man. Just difficult to handle everything at once. We got Eddie Bola de Grasa, heavyweight. He's going to be taking on Nestor Gibbs, myself. He says, how anxious are you to get back in the ring, especially after watching the action in New Jersey? And will you work my corner again, Texas?
Of course, I'll work Eddie's corner again, man. It was fun working his corner the first time around, and anxious. I wouldn't say anxious. I would say more excited, because missing out this last time and then being around the environment and all the fights that are going on, you get that bug that everybody gets around fights. You just, you want to get in there. You wish you would have got in there, but it's things happen. We move on, and we're here in a new season.
Yeah, that's got to be a difficult thing, man. Just give me, I wanted you. I was one of those guys pushing you to take that boxing therapy fight. Talk to us about watching that fight with Colin in therapy from the outside looking in and just what was going through your mind.
It's, you kind of sit there and you're like, man, if that was me in there, I would have been doing this. I could have done that. I would have, I see all the things I myself could have been doing against boxing therapy or Colin, you know. And then like I said, afterwards we spoke. I spoke to almost everybody there as a potential opponent of mine, letting them know, like, hey, in the future, if you would like to make the fight, let's make a fight. I was there trying to make a fight, and then Rob stepped up in the chat on the inside, and we made the fight. That's pretty much how it saw. But from there, I did. After a while, I did wish I would have took the opportunity to get into the ring and have a fight.
All right. We got the next one from Iron Sal. Claims to be the most gifted fighter on Border Wars. Where do you feel you've improved the most? Good question.
I feel like I've improved the most on basically everything. Technique, developing my style as a boxer, what I want to be. Listening to my coach, especially, I see myself as a completely different person in the ring now instead of what I was in the beginning.
For sure, for sure. All right. We got that one white boy says, what are you doing to prepare your mind for this fight? Are you working on developing mental strength along with physical strength?
I'm pretty good. I got real confidence that I can win. I got confidence in the goals that I've set for myself, and especially with the work that I'm putting in, it's hard to doubt. All I can see in front of myself is getting the win. I like to play the fights out of my head, see what might go on, see what I think can go on, and then I go from there. And it's real easy to be mentally locked in for this. It's good.
Cool. We got Jordan Baker, Florida Zone. Now that you are getting the title, now that you are not getting the title, do you regret not taking that last minute fight with Colin when Jemmy pulled out?
Yeah, like I said, getting in the ring, you kind of like a couple days pass, week or so pass, and you're like, man, I wish I would have got in there. Now I'm just kind of here in the gym still prepping for a fight that's months away. And coming to the title, I don't really remember the title conversation at that point with Colin if it was going to jump in with anybody else, but I understood.
No, I think maybe he means since you and Jemmy was for a title, maybe they would have approved, you and Colin for a title looking back. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, like I said, you do get the regrets. Like, man, I should have got in there. Did something with somebody. But, you learn, you take your chances where you can, and you move on and you get ready for the next one.
For sure, man. Let's see here. We got Andre Bishop, newest heavyweight, 46-year-old heavyweight, going to be taking on Morocco. Joe says, Matt, in your weight loss journey, is 168 the weight class that you feel the most comfortable at?
168, I would probably say it'd be my second pick for right now, because I got to 160 and I was feeling really good at 160. That's why, like I said, I could probably make 154 and probably do fine at 154. But I would want to have fights at 160 and 154 first. But coming down to 168, I felt better. Fighting at 185, I felt good, but I didn't feel as fast and as strong. As effectively strong is what I should say. I felt strong at 185, but as effectively strong and speed with it at 168 that I have now, it's much better. And at 160, it was looking good too. So I would say 160 would probably be better for me if I can be successful here also.
For sure. We got, looks like the final question coming from Info Joe, and says, what would you say your style is?
I would say more of a boxer puncher, in the middle, able to jump in, jump out, good jab, lots of combos, more head movement on my own, and then able to slide back into the Mexican style if needed.
Now, we have Jose, Canadian Jose. We all know he's a troll, but he is going around guaranteeing that you're going to lose to Rob, calling you a cherry. And obviously we can't take too much into it, man. This could just be a direct attack on so many of the names that he's been called. Mm-hmm. But do you feel Rob is cherry picking you?
No, I don't feel myself as a cherry pick to anybody. If I look like a cherry to anybody, this is the cherry that bites back or shoots the juice right back into your eye before you can get something else off.
So again, on paper, you were 248, came into your first fight 190, right?
Yeah, I was about 230. I came in right at 85, and then kind of just went up to 190 when I figured out some things were gonna move around.
So you then come down to 168. So you've always been the naturally bigger man than Robert the Genius, yet they have him as the bigger man. Or is it that they think he's tougher because he did the white boy warrior cry and was able to withstand some punishment and then dish it out? Why do you think you have guys like, I don't know, Coach Mide and Jose thinking you're the underdog?
Because I think it's the game that he presented mentally in his first fight. He was able to, like you said, take it, give it, and then get into Greg Morgan's head with that warrior cry that came out. I seen, like everybody else did in that room, seen a pause in Greg Morgan's, in the middle of his fight, kind of stand there and look uncomfortable. And from then on, Robert had him the whole rest of the way. So it's no doubt the mental game that he played worked beautifully in his favor, and he was able to kind of, I want to create doubt in Greg Morgan's mind, into which it got him to lock up and not really throw back.
How does a fight with you and Morgan play out? Obviously, you had to be on the outside looking in, thinking I could take him or I would have done this differently. Do you think you can beat Morgan? Or, the old saying, fighter A beating fighter B doesn't mean he can beat C. Meaning, obviously, just because you think you can beat Rob doesn't mean you think you can beat Morgan.
I feel like I would have been able to beat both of them, honestly.
So, are you looking at just getting the win, or do you think you'll be shocking the community and picking up awards for like most improved? Are we going to be shocked here? Because you've been working for a long time. Your last Border Wars, you didn't get to show anything, but people seen the dramatic weight loss. So they seen, you have willpower and determination. That can translate into the ring. I like to say that a well, trained person in terms of like stamina beats a skilled guy any day because you can outwork them. Your nickname is Machine Gun. Are you really planning on, throwing that many punches, or is it more about calculation and picking your right shots at this point?
I'm looking to come in throwing combinations and setting them up like you're supposed to. They're gonna see why I'm being called Machine Gun, not only for the work rate, for the cardio. It's all gonna come together, and they're gonna understand why I'm perceived as the Machine Gun.
So, I guess, what do you want to add to this Unguarded? Anything that you might have heard in the last couple of months that you want to address? I obviously, we can actually talk about it. Let's bring you back to that boxing therapy. As a person that kind of originated the series, I like to pride myself on never having anyone come up to me and say, "Oh, you put me in a fight that you knew I couldn't win." Instead, people actually praise the matchmaking because the fights are so competitive. I, from the outside looking in, thought, hey, you traveled all the way from Plainview, Texas. Why just sit on the outside? Why not take that boxing therapy fight? I felt like he was short. You guys matched up well off naked eye. And then watching him in there with Colin, and I say it every day. That's why I know Jordon jumped on it, because he sees that Colin almost got stopped this last fight. It's like, let me stop this dude before somebody else stops him. So I don't know, man. Did take me back to that moment? Why not take it? What if you would have took it? I don't know. What goes through your mind when you think of that day?
What went through my mind is really, I should have, like I said, I get the call about what's going on, and I kind of just got out of the mood, and I was kind of really innerly upset, but like just at the situation, it's not anybody's fault or anything what happened, so I kind of told myself, I'm gonna go. I got to be in my brother's corner anyway. I'm gonna go meet the people that I've already met, and just have a good time. And then the opportunity came up for another fight to come in with boxing therapy. And then after watching what happened with Colin in boxing therapy, especially the way that I feel like Colin could have fought a way different fight than what he fought, but he went in there doing what he seemed to be working for the most part until he got caught. But I would have fought a different fight, and I feel like I could have won that fight too. It's just, at the time, it's kind of like, after the first situation, it was, we've done this before, and I kind of just didn't want to repeat. I kind of got the mentality of it, don't let it be a repeat, so just don't let it happen.
For sure, man, for sure. So, no more questions from the people. We didn't get any callers. I don't know. I mean, anything you want to add for your opponent before we get out of here?
Just a little bit of what I said on Saturday. I'm working every day. I come out of my job. I work, 8, 9 in the morning till about 6 in the evenings, go straight to the gym and work for another 2.5 hours in the gym. I'm coming to show that I want to be perceived as the best, and the way to be perceived as the best is to beat people. And the next thing why people will pick me to fight them is because they see I'm going to be the best. I am the best at what this is, and in the weights that I will campaign at, and that's what I'm trying to prove. I'm trying to come, and like I said, I'm on my Triple G thing. Give me my belt. I want my belt, and no matter if it's Rob, Colin, Jordan Baker, or whoever else would like to step in 168, it would have to go through me. I want to show everybody in this community that I am going to be the best.
For sure, man. Look, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping both you and your brother are putting in the work. I'm happy to hear you guys found the gym in the neighborhood. You found say you'll definitely be able to get a title in multiple divisions. But yeah, let me check. I think we just got a new last minute one. Let me see here. Yes, Visa says, do you feel a way due to the fact that everyone thinks you're a cherry and like Earl Spence would say, you light in the ass?
Oh, man, it's just like I said, it's, I still got all my fat man clothes. I've updated my wardrobe just to show, I'm in way better shape. Things look better. I've toned up. It's not like I got real thin and frail and just, got all the way to the bone and didn't add nothing. I've built myself up to a good, solid weight. When you see me this time, it's not going to be, oh, he looks skinny. It's, oh, he looks pretty solid. He looks good, So it's a matter of showing people this time. I don't take none of that into account. I see myself every day, and I talk to my team every day about how I'm doing, how I'm looking. So it's none of that is ever crossing my mind like that.
For sure. I guess that's it, man. No more. Wait. They coming in. Now they coming in. I think so. Let me double check here. Was that Keem? Did he come in on a question for you? No, that was another Unguarded. All right, well, Matt, any social media you want to give people? I don't know, maybe you're posting some of these workouts. Maybe you want them to see them, or maybe you want to keep it to yourself. I don't know, but just in case they want to follow you, any social media?
Yeah, at Matt Garces on most of the things. Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow me there. I will start posting some of my workouts and stuff soon just because people have been asking me how I lost the weight and whatnot. So I'll be putting things on there, Pretty much follow me there. Follow me right here on Patreon. Get ready for Border Wars in February, man. Let's go.
Let's do it. We'll be back with another one for the next episode of Unguarded. Remember, you can ask these fighters your own questions right on patreon.com/Thaboxingvoice. All right, peace.